Hey guys, Tarke here with day 5 of the Mayhem recap. There will be some gameplay later in the video, but quickly I'll do the usual rank through of the ladder. We played for 9 hours today. We're sort of having an early night, which is why I'm feeling not completely dead today. Feels good, man. We finished at rank 12 overall. Again, this is in hardcore. We have from rank 1 to rank 6, solid or slash ladder. Sadly, we did have one Rippity Ruse. We've got a few Russia bros slipping in between. Then at 11, we have Baslo. That's my support. He rerolled. He started also part of the whole slash ladder thing. So we've got from 1 to 6 all slash ladder. We've got a few USR bros pushing between our NA bros. And then we've got EU just outside of top 10. Hopefully we can get into top 10 in the next day or two and have a full slash ladder pocket champion. We have Kane at rank 16 now. He's still playing, still pushing pretty actively. I'm second Saboteur, and third Saboteur is right behind me in rank. We're playing the same build. His profile's private, so I don't know how good his gear is. He apparently also streams, so I don't know. But yeah, just kind of amusing that the third Sab is literally right behind me and is also right behind me on the overall ladder redos. Before I get into the gameplay, I just want to show you a few random highlights, and also there's this REWORK, which I'll talk at the end of the video, which has got me a little bit kind of face. So throughout the day we had a few interesting things. We started really struggling to sustain tier 13s, so we started exalting Kato boxes because Katos are so cheap, and this happened. Enjoy.
Looking like a pair of clowns.
Plus
Oh.
one. There you go, there you go.
He
Okay.
instantly exalted the
Both
I
of
say
these
that.
though are so flawless.
Exalting Katos.
He's like, I don't give a fuck. Slam
Did
it.
you put one elsewhere?
Evo standard.
Double race course. Whoa.
Wow.
So fucking
What
worth.
the fuck? That's +1. How's that even?
So yeah, if you don't know what happened, we're in a 12, shaped 12. We find a Kato, our first big cast of the day. Spend ages rolling it. We spent a good like 5 minutes rolling it. That clip was right at the end. Double exalt it. 2 race course. PogChamp. Let's go. We eventually end up sustaining, and we because we all have different 13s set up, we've got loads of different ones. We end up spending a lot of time in Atoll and Shore. And as I was saying yesterday, that Sapphire Flask is the MVP against the Ice Nova box. This is an example as to why that is the case.
He wasn't that bad that we took a break. Got
Actually.
2 16s out of it.
Why is that? Why am I getting action?
Oh, that fucking hurt. No, that was
Bass
scary.
Isn't here. Bass isn't here.
Yeah, I'm rolling maps.
What? Oh my god. So, if you're like, well, what happened? Like, why stuff's spoopy? So we have, normally, when we run in as, like, start the map, all go in. If you have a look here, you can see the portals here. We have Kane at the front, who's the freeze pulse totem dude, who freezes mobs and doesn't really do that much else. Here we have Skitty, who's our curse on hit champion, and you have me. We have a Guardian who does all of our purities, and he makes us have crazy max res, meaning with his max res and then a Sapphire Flask, we can tank Ice Novas, and that's what we've been doing. It's like we get as much max res as possible, and we tank the Ice Novas. The reason we do this is we chase the Strongbox mod on all of our maps, and when you have 20 Strongboxes and you're rolling rippy maps, and you get like a scary Ice Nova on an AoE map, or like a plus level Strongbox, especially when you're in the higher tiers of maps, these Ice Novas are really scary. So the safest way you can combat that is to have all the max res. But when your max res Guardian isn't in the map with you, and someone runs ahead and clicks the box, and also fun fact here, after this clip, Kane says, I don't know who clicked that box. It wasn't me. It must have been one of you guys trying to keep PK me while Relo was in the map. Here you can see Skitty. Here you can see me. This little blob here is Kane. This is Kane. Kane clicks the box. And that was just Ice Nova with nothing. It didn't have plus levels or anything. If it had plus levels, it would have been a clean, like, triple kill. It took me to, like, half. It took Skitty to, like, half. And it chunked Kane. You need to remember, we're all mom builds, though. Now, my mana was kind of low going in, but considering it hit all of us for half, and we're all mom builds, and we all had Sapphire Flasks up, if we didn't have Sapphires with us, that would have been a straight, like, triple kill. So, yeah. Iced over boxes of Spoopy Boys, and Kane, wait for Rolo next time. Oh gosh, let's get into some actual gameplay redos. That doesn't quite look right. There we go. There we go. So here we have some gameplay. So what have we done gear-wise today? I think this was me baby raging about the downtime we have in between maps. Downtime is like the main weakness of the ladder pusher. This is before I got a second inspired learning. So this is what the close speed looks like with only one inspired learning. I did pick up a second inspired learning today. I also upgraded my Sapphire Flask to a Taste of Hate. We've been tracking Taste of Hates. I've also been tracking the hunger cards. And oh, also people say that my face looks fatter when I play. It's because when you've been playing for a long time and like me, you have a very square face, and then you start sagging down and sort of going limp jaw. You look a bit puffy, but that's what I actually like. Haha. Anyway, zombie Tarke. So I'd spent all day buying hunger cards for my new Taste of Hate. And I did get Taste of Hate in the end. I was paying 20 to 25C for each card. I bought 6 out of 9 cards. Then someone listed a Taste of Hate for 1C. Everyone's like, what? This guy must be trolling. And I'm like, nah, sod it. So I leave the map, whisper him, because he had the yellow name. He had the golden name, which means he has level 100. And it turns out he'd ripped that. He was done with the league. So I trade him also. Spoopy Abba, by the way. So I trade him 1C. He gives me the Taste of Hate and then 20C on top because he was done with the league. And I think some alks and some alts, whatever. He's like, good luck with the push. So we get a Taste of Hate. Literally 5 maps later, a Taste of Hate drops. Baz already had a Taste of Hate. I just got on a Taste of Hate off this dude. And I spent all day buying the cards for it. So in the end, you ended up selling the cards, selling the spare Taste of Hate, and it just gave us more currency to roll more maps. But it's just kind of funny the way that shit like that happens. It's like you spend all day trying to get these cards, and the most painful thing about it is because everyone's getting so many free div cards from all the free strong boxes, you're getting a lot of people getting like div cards for expensive items they don't really know what's worth. And also, like, no one's selling Taste of Hates, because anyone who gets them is just using them or dying with them, right? So you're getting a lot of players who don't know what their stuff is worth, because they're either inexperienced, or so they don't have anything to market against it. So whenever one was getting listed, I'd have to be like, offer 20C, or offer 15C, or offer 25C, right? And then now I get messaged saying, I don't know what it's worth, there are none for sale. I'm like, yeah, that's because I'm buying them. Like, well, how do I know you're not price fixing? And then I'm like, I'm not. And they'd be like, wait, I'll wait for another to get listed. So I'd be like, fine. I then run like, you know, an hour's more maps. They give us reactors going, I'll do it for 25. And I'm like, okay. And that's one. And I had that exact, like, back and forth, 30, 40 minutes of haggling for a single card, like 4 times today on stream. It was so painful, but we've got it in the end. Feels good, man. Feels oh so good, man. But as you can see from the gameplay, this is before we got the second inspired learning. The strong boxes really are powerful. It's like ridiculous XP per hour, really nutty loot. Loot's just raining all over the place. It is ridiculous the amount of currency you get, and that is why this race is a void race. Like, you couldn't do this as a non-void race, because it just wouldn't work otherwise. So, with all of that out of the way, I'll shrink this down, and I'll go over my gearing. And you still can't see that for some reason. There you go. So just leave that running over there. Move my cam back into the middle. So we are 96 and a bit. We have upgraded our gear a lot. Quite a lot, actually. We are running a Herald now on my mom. It just gives me a bunch of extra damage. My tooltip looks very, very low. That is because my wand isn't very good. Let's shrink this down some more, actually. There you go. So this is my... This is my current wand. I have another wand that I swap between depending on what content I'm doing. And I'm trying to roll a new wand. So this is my current wand. And you can see it's got some cold damage, lightning damage, crit, nothing really that else on it. This is what I was using before. This is the one I had in yesterday's video. It has a bunch of flat lightning, percent fire, crit multi. Now this is a better DPS wand, especially when I'm running with my support, gives me both anger and wrath. The reason why I'm using this one is it has some flat cold on it. Now, we eventually got a 6-link belly, and we spent all day trying to get the colours on it. And because we have a second Inspired Learning now over here, and if you don't know, Inspired Learning gives you the mini Headhunter style effect, we had to drop nodes from down here. I previously had Piercing Shots. We had to drop Piercing Shots and phase Acro. Let's come over into Templar, fill in all of this rubbish. So we're now running the Pierce Gem. Ideally, I would have a 3 blue, 3 green. Then I would run Kinetic Blast, Remote Mine, Minefield, GMP, Pierce, then added Cold. Not need added Cold on a wand, and then use like a PogChamp wand. I'm currently using Elemental Damage with attacks. It's still very good and is very good damage scaling, but I'm having to use a suboptimal wand in the meantime. I then, because I wasn't reliably shattering enough, then added the Herald of Ice to the build. Herald of Ice gives a bunch of additional damage. You can see I go from doing 1.3k cold to 699 cold. That's pretty substantial in terms of just like raw difference. Let's see that up there out of the way. I do lose some mom, but my life is shot way up because I'm now using the belly. So it doesn't really matter. So it's, you know, it all kind of evens out in the end. And again, for some people confused yesterday, I am a KB miner. So my right click places mines. I then detonate the mines and they attack with Kinetic Blast. And again, Kinetic Blast is an attack, not a spell. There has been a lot of confusion over that. So yeah, that is how the build works. The reason why I have a second detonate setup is that is a detonate totem. So on single target, the totem will automatically trigger the mines if there's a nearby enemy. So if I'm against a boss, I drop that and then I can just hold spam mines. And that's just like PogChamp, cool. I run 2 Valclarities. During Valclarity effect, my skills cost 0 mana. This is also a group-wide buff. And I run it with faster casting and increased duration. The increased duration makes it last longer. And the fast casting just means that the cast duration is faster, so I don't get like stunned every time I do that. It also makes playing a Mom build a lot safer. And again, this is a mind over matter build, meaning I take 30% of damage taken from mana for life. And I do run a single mana potion. So if my mana is ever low, press a mana pot, my mana goes up. And I have near like 90% uptime of 2 Valclarities that I juggle between. I use a Flame Dash to get up and down ledges, although my main movement speed is just running around. Because of the Inspired Learnings, I very regularly have haste buffs from that, which makes it feel okay. And I've also swapped between Smoke Mine and Phase Run multiple times. Smoke Mine is very strong, but it's also very clunky. The way it works is you drop a mine, you then detonate a mine, and you get a movement speed buff for 10 seconds. It gives you 30% movement speed, and I've used Smoke Mine a lot in the past, and I actually like using Smoke Mine when you have the Helm enchant. The Helm enchant gives an additional 30% movement speed, meaning it gives you 60% movement speed for 10 seconds, up to 15 seconds if you have 1 increased duration cluster. But for just 30%, I find it kind of clunky. And also, when you're doing the crazy stuff, and if you're watching the gameplay at the top, which is currently just me, you know, trading or whatever, when you're, like, doing the crazy action, all the clusterfuck going on, and there's, like, an Abazoth spawning, you need to quickly get away, you mucking about with Smoke Mine nearly gets you killed. If you fail to detonate your Smoke Mine, so say there's an Abba, right? And I go, oh, I need to run away quick. Oh, no. You drop the Smoke Mine, you walk away, you then detonate it late, you teleport back in place. So I don't actually like running it anymore, just because when I'm getting tired, when I'm getting sloppy, it was messing with my positioning a lot. Whereas Phase Run is just a buff you activate it, and it speeds me up, right? So at the start of a map, I can just Phase Run, I get a little movement speed buff, and I actually move quite fast, that plus Quicksilver. I'm zooming along, and then you throw in Haster on top, it works. Basically, I pop up Phase Run. If I like, oh, there's a sextant back there, pick up the sextant. Oh, there's a map, I'll go pick up the map. The only bad thing about it is it wipes any frenzy charges you have off your character, and I do sometimes get frenzy charges from my supports, but it's safer than Smoke Mine. It makes me not fall behind everyone else, so in that sense, I kind of like it. Gearing wise, what else has changed since yesterday? I believe I have a new, I believe this ring is new, and I should actually bless this ring. Do I have any bless? No, I don't have any bless. Haven't really got much currency at all at the moment. We are really broke. We spent like all of our currency trying to roll stuff. Also, we sunk, I think we paid 250 chaos for the second inspired learning. That really tanked my currency. Then running beyond on every single map really screwed me over as well. And then we've been, you know, 6-linking cost sprees and whatever for our support and doing all this other random stuff. And I spent a lot trying to get the chromatics this belly, and I'm still not even happy with these colors, but I'm just having to make do as is. That's one of the, like, not so fun things about Mayhem, is while I'm really enjoying Mayhem, and anyone who hasn't played it, you still have like 5-6 days. Please play it. You will enjoy it. It's very hard to get currency. People are selling chromatics 5 to 1. What we've been doing is we've been actually vendoring our jewelers. In Act 9, or whichever act you want, you can buy chromatics off the vendor, and it is 3 to 1. So yeah, this is how we've been getting all of our chromatics. It's just buying up these. And I realized I should have planned out my gameplay segment a little bit cleaner, but whatever. It was, you know, we're doing it live, you know. This is more fun, right? So yeah. It's been a little bit of a hard one, but we're still getting there. We're still climbing ranks. We're still sort of, you know, pushing along nicely. I was talking about blessing your ring. So we got this new ring to fix resists when we swapped the belly out of my old chest. We're still on the Lycosidae. We've put in a Herald of Ice, which we're leveling. Also, if you do run the Herald up, very important to get quality. The quality gives global increased damage. This increases all of your damage, not just the Herald damage. And also, because there's been some confusion, the Herald gives you the damage to your KB mines, but the KB mines do not trigger the Herald explosion. It's just there for the flat damage scaling. If you want to do a non-Mind of Matter version, I'd probably recommend going like double Heralds for big deeps, big deeps. But yeah. I like having Mom. I like being super tanky, 6.8k life. We've specced out of a 2-point jewel. We dropped all of this down here. By speccing to the stuff at Templar, we picked up more life here. And we specced out that jewel to keep the Psalm life wheel. So we are super tanky. At this point, I have like no damage clusters. We specced out of Saboteur. We still haven't got Arcing Blows. We still haven't got Throat Seeker. But we just get so much damage from the 2 Inspired Learnings that once I'm going, right? So just like the support starts me off by giving me enough damage to get the first few packs down. Every time I kill a rare, I see 2 of its mods now with 2 Inspired Learnings. I just scale exponentially up with all the auras, and it's just like zoom, 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 zoom. The only limiting factor of the build right now is movement speed. Kane eventually managed to link my Queen of the Forest on his stream earlier. Where? Oh god, what did I do with it? That's my old 6th link. Here. Kane eventually linked this early on his stream. He probably has a highlight of it somewhere. Move that again. But I haven't got the dex to use it. I need 160 dex. I'm really dex starved right now. I've got just enough dex for my stuff to work with 112. There's not really much I can do. We've reshuffled this whole like shadow section to get more dexterity. Outside of actually like spending dex on the skill tree or like completely re-gearing, I can't make the Queen of the Forest work. And also, I would have to do a complete rework to make the Queen of the Forest work, because I need high evasion, helm, gloves, boots for it to feel worthwhile. I don't have a good evasion shield. And also, I'd want to use a Jade Flask. I can't really drop the Mana Pot. I don't want to drop the Life Pot because I can't leech. I don't want to drop the Sapphire Flask because of the clip I showed you at the start with the Ice Nova. I can't drop the Diamond. I'm definitely not dropping the Quicksilver. So yeah, basically this can't really work for me. I think what we will do though is if this character rips or we hit 100 and we still want to keep playing Mayhem or whatever, I might remake this character as like a Pathfinder or something, or I'll just remake a build which uses the Queen of the Forest and just... But I really like Miners, and one of the main reasons I like Miners is you get to play a full DPS Wonder and not need to worry about Reflect. And that is the perfect segue into the Reflect clip. So Ziggy had a interview with Rory on his stream earlier. I'm just going to play this clip in full.
Monsters is going to be changed. So you'll no longer get a mod that just they reflect a certain percentage of the damage they take of that type. Instead, you're going to get new Nemesis mods that will, whenever you hit them with elemental damage or whenever you hit them with physical damage, they will counterattack with a mortar that you can avoid. And that has a cooldown on it, so you don't get 100 mortars if you hit them really rapidly. And it doesn't do damage based on the damage you dealt. I mean, it does.
Right. So they're changing Reflect to be a mod that when you hit an enemy with like the Reflect thing, it fires mortars at you, right? And the damage isn't based on how hard you hit it, it's like a set damage roll. I, for a long time, said I don't want them to change Reflect in a way which kills Reflect. I want more options to handle Reflect. The reason this character is a miner, or one of the big reasons why it's a miner, is I get to play a Wonder and be immune to Reflect damage because the mine's doing the damage, not me. The reason why a lot of people play Totems is they get to scale as much damage as possible, and the Totems take the Reflect damage, not the player. So you're sacrificing the Leech, because you don't get the Leech, your Totems or your Mines do, but like whatever, right? So you sacrifice the ability to full Leech through Volpact, whatever, but you get the survivability of having Totems and Mines, right? Being Reflect immune. With this change, Totems and Mines hit a Reflect mob, the Mortars happens backs at you. So why would you play Totems and Mines anymore? You're only going to play it if you can get more damage, or if it has faster clear speed. They're changing how Leech works through the whole Volpact thing. So you're still going to have Leech though, and having Leech is really good defense. So like, it's cool in a way, right? Like, it's cool in a way. And if I was going to have Reflect reworked, that's like a good way of reworking Reflect. But I feel like it just takes a lot away from summoners, totems, mines, traps even. Like, all of these things in the past, which is like one of the big advantages, or like, oh, this is why you would play a trap build, is you can scale damage and not need to worry about Reflect. Now you hit the Reflect mob with your trap, or your minions, if you're a summoner, hits the Reflect mob, and then the Reflect hits you with the mortar and like wipes out your stuff. Or you just walk past it and you dodge it, and then it's not a mechanic at all, right? So it's kind of like, I mean, now you just play full glass cannon, don't worry about that, like, you don't worry about Reflect at all, right? Like, Cute Dog used to complain on Baycast that he didn't like his, like, mirror perfect wonders having to use a Sybil's ring because it felt bad. Well, now he's just going to use another GG DPS ring. So his map clear is just going to map harder. I'm guessing the, like, reduced Reflect Pantheons will be reworked, or they'll take less damage from the Mortar effect or whatever. But yeah, I don't know, like, I want to know what this is going to be like in group play. You've seen the gameplay that we've had going on in the background. Can you imagine how bad that would be? They say it has like an internal cooldown, but depending on what the cooldown is, it's like if I'm playing a KB Wonder, depending on how the cooldowns work and stuff, and how many mobs they add it with the Nemesis, you know, whatever. Do I, like, shoot off screen and then suddenly, like, bombards from... I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like we already had ways to handle Reflect. We just wanted more options. Instead of just reinventing the wheel. I don't know. I think it's a good change. I'd rather that than, like, Thornflesh. Or Reflect packs. Like, I'm not a fan of Reflect. But I just feel like it just creates different problems, and maybe in like a year's time people will be like, oh, if only we'd done X. I don't know. Like, do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, in a year's time, do you think people are like, oh, do you remember like back then? Like that mechanic? How will this affect traps, minions, totems, mines, summons, whatever? This has been a long video. Rank 12, by the way. I'll keep you guys updated. 96 in a bit. Hopefully you'll get to 97, 98 tomorrow. And not die again. I'm Tarke. Have a good day. Bye-bye.